Hi everyone, welcome back to another video here. So yes, today is the day actually after I just did the track day over at Black Hawk Farms. I've been thinking all day like how to actually edit this video. We've got some track footage, I've got videos that I took during the day. So I think I'm going to break them into a few sections just to try and cover all bases, because I know, when I watch someone go to do a track day, I have my own expectations of what I'm going to see on the video. I don't have loads of time to edit all these videos, so sorry for the production values. I try to be informative rather than glitzy and glamorous, and so that's what this video is going to be about. So I'm going to do a quick overview review, if you like, here as the introduction. Then I'm going to put in a narrated lap of the track, and then we'll come back and discuss thoughts after that. Just a very quick overview then now. So the day went really well. We had great weather. Everything worked out with the logistics, putting things in the back of the truck, loading the bike in and out. All of that went well. We had some, friends and family come over to watch, so that all went well too. And yeah, so I haven't been on a track for about 5 years. So not only was I rusty and needing to get in some lap times and practice, but also we're on a fresh bike. I've never had this bike on the track either. So there was a few variables going on during the day that I was just trying to, think about and manage, and gives me food for thought in preparation for my next track day over at Road America coming up in September. But also, as much as I think I can do the things that I used to be able to do 5 years ago when I was fresh racing, I have to meet my expectations and ride within my own limits. And get used to the bike. Like I say, there are limitations on the bike at the moment that I want to address, and so I'll talk about those when we come back from the video. I will just preface the video by saying I was struggling with the right-handers, and that's not something I usually have struggled with in the past. It could have been early knocks of confidence at the beginning of the day when I was still getting used to the bike. The track does have some bumps in it in kind of the wrong places, and also I'm getting used to that track, which is quite technical. You need to be on the right lines to have the confidence to carry the speed, and so being fresh there, that's going to take some time to learn that particular track and really be able to carry the corner speed, which is what a bike like the R7 is all about. We need to make our time up in the corners. And so the right-handers, I was struggling a bit with. Left-handers, by the end of the day, I was really enjoying the left-handers, and carrying reasonable speed through those and using the full side of the tire on the left-hand side, but I just couldn't quite reach that shoulder of the right-hand side throughout the day. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking for the moment. You'll see a narrated lap now, and then after that, I'll come back and we'll talk about specifics about the bike that I might want to change going forward. Then I think I will put in thoughts from the actual videos from the day after that. And then right at the end, I'll put in like a full session, the last session of the day, so you can kind of get a see on that, if that floats your boat. And I might even do a separate video altogether that just shows track footage and doesn't really have a lot of talking. So hang on in there and we'll get through it. Okay, so let's talk through a lap of Black Hawk Farms on the little R7 stock gearing. This is the back straightaway, so we just get up to 5th gear. I'm trying to tuck in as much as I possibly can, waiting to get underneath the sign to go on the brakes, down a couple of gears, not even blipping the throttle, just put the gears in and get the bike settled. There's a bump there on entry, which isn't very nice, but we get through there and we're heading up straight away. Click up a gear to take this fast left-hander, I really enjoyed that one. And then throw a gear down, try and hook up the late apex here. I'm a little bit wide maybe, but we're still learning this track. But hard on it. Well, we get to accelerate a little bit into the chicane, hard on the brakes, 2 knees into the tank before trying to hook up that camber there on the right hand side, accelerate through here. Enjoyed this fast section, real nice corner on this left, decked out on the knee, avoid the curb on the right before another fast left hander here, hook over the curb, accelerate out. The bike is about to scream at me as I'm at the top of the rev range, hard brake again, both knees in the tank. Trying to drift out here towards the left in order to take this fast right. Struggled to get this right throughout the day, but a few more laps in future will help. Accelerate up here, click up a gear, flow through this final kink, drop a gear, hard on the brakes as we can. I do get a little bit wide here, but not losing too much time. And then back onto the straight again. And yeah, just really I did enjoy the day, enjoyed this track. A few more things to learn about it and to really pick up the lines. Very technical, one-line track, but yeah, really good. Enjoyed it. Alright, so you've had a look at me on track and seen some areas I'm sure where I can improve, and you know, I feel that myself. There is plenty we can do, or a few things I think that I can do to give me back a little bit of extra confidence and bring back that corner speed. So let's talk about the good points and the bad points of my R7 as it is right now for me. Good points. So the brakes were excellent. No problems whatsoever with braking all day long. Real good feel, real good strength, no brake fade whatsoever. Could do a reasonable amount of trail braking into the corner. Not as much as I would have done in the past. I don't, still getting used to it, but real good feel, real good strength. Very happy with the braking. The front forks, so there was certain feelings, as I'm riding the bike, going through the corners. One general thought is I feel like a lot of my weight is hanging on the front of the bike in the middle of a corner. And that's not something I'm used to, not something I really like or want. So, a number of things I'm going to do around the fork area is, as you can see right now, we have quite a lot of poke through. Let me turn on the light. Poke through of the forks. Now, why did I do that? Because I'm used to that on my race bike, so I thought it would give me a similar feeling. And again, the steering speed, nothing wrong with that. And I don't think that's going to be an issue at that particular track. So that's something that I don't really need right now. What I need is a bit more, I feel like, a lift of the front. So we're going to go flush with the fork to the top of the yoke. We're going to push that back through. Now you do remember that my steering damper clamp is sat on the top of the fork here, but I do have the bracket still to use the original location down here when this becomes flush. So that's one thing I'm going to do. The second thing I'm going to do is change out the standard clip-ons to an aftermarket set. That gives me roughly, by the look of it, another at least an inch of bar to slide everything out. And that will just give me a bit more width in my arms. It did feel quite tight in the cockpit area for my arms. I couldn't, get that elbow out as much as I wanted to. So that's going to hopefully help that situation as well. I have kept the angle same as stock. I know you can get 0 degree, which are more horizontal bars. So again, I'm going to take this step by step, get that width back out, and then move on from there. Foot pegs even, was another area that I didn't quite feel comfortable with, especially in the right-hand side for some reason. What it felt like was the ball of my foot, as much as it was right on the end of the peg, it felt kind of angled like that. And it could just be the way I was thinking about it, but it felt like at any moment if I put too much more effort in or weight on or whatever, it was going to slip, which would be a bad thing. So I think what I need to do, as you can see, these are on the highest screw settings. So I'm going to aim to lower these and maybe move them forward. I don't know what's best. I've got one row to go back. I've got 2 rows to come forward once I've gone down. So I just want to get a bit more room in my legs. I am 6'4". I'm a tall guy. So I think a bit more room in the feet would be a good thing as well. I went full preload on the shock, so I've got no more preload adjustment there. Not sure I truly need, I'm not sure I'm going to get what I need out of this shock and linkage. I'm aware of the issues of the R7. Everyone's been telling me in a few comments as well. I get it, right? We could really do with a different shock and a different linkage in the back. I just don't have the budget for that right now. So we're going to go with what we've got. Again, on my race bike in the past, I never had like an Olin shock or anything expensive in the back. I had like a 12-year-old Kawasaki shock in the back. So I don't really feel like I need, the best of the best to get me comfortable. I'm going to try a few different tweaks here and there and go from there. All right. So those are some things that I'll be working on in the next few weeks, and you'll see some videos on that. I obviously think the bike could do with a tune-up, so we don't have a tune on the ECU yet. I've got the exhaust on there. Could do with a de-snorkel and a tune, so that's going to help as well in the future, just with the general pace, obviously. But yeah, overall, it was a really good fun and great to ride. So, right, next clips, I'm going to throw in some videos from the day. So you'll get my thoughts from the day. If that's too boring, skip through. And there's going to be some more laps at the end. Bed. Well, good morning, everyone. Here from Black Hawk Farms. I thought I'd do a little good morning video. This is where we are. It's a lovely, glorious morning. We've got our little setup going on over here. We've got a few people coming today. So we've got a little setup awning, chairs and things. We've already been to the technical inspection, so that went well. They just check a few things out on your bike, obviously make sure it's safe, checking the tires are not bald and everything. We've got the camera running on the top yoke, so we'll have a few videos, a few onboards on that. But beyond that, there won't be much crazy video angles or anything like that. So yeah, excited to get out there. We've got the tyre warmers going, set for high today, because it's not a particularly hot day. So I'm going to check when they get up to temperature, tyre pressures and things like that. And yeah, this little awning is great. Sometimes they're a bit horrible, but this one actually, $50 from Walmart, is actually a really good awning compared to some of that I bought in the past. So yeah, we've got technical inspection in about, not technical inspection, riders meeting in about 15 minutes. So yeah, it won't be too far long before we are out on this thing. So excited, a little bit nervous, of course, we always are. First session of the day is just a session to get out of the way, right? Everyone's rusty in the first session, even if you've just ridden a week before, it can be still just a session to get out of the way. So I'm just going to take it nice and relatively easy. Looks like there's a few fast bikes in the green group. So again, green group is the, let's say, second fastest group. So I'm going to have to get my wriggle on as quickly as I can. Try to get my head, my brain back up to speed. It's been 5 years since, nearly 5 years since I've been on a track racing or doing any track activity. So it's going to be interesting to see what we've got today. They do move you up and down the groups if you're not going fast enough. So my challenge, although I won't be too upset if it doesn't work out, my challenge is to try and stay in the green group. If I get knocked back down because I'm on, an R7 against thousands, then that's fine. I'm not going to be too butthurt about that. But yeah, I'd also really like to get my elbow dragging on the ground today, which I've done in the past, but so if there's any personal challenge for me today, that's that. All right, well, I'll be back in touch with any news, and but here we are. Excited, sun shining. We've got some rain, possible showers coming this afternoon, so we'll just have to deal with that as and when it comes.
Here and you want to get in, because right now I had 10 people show up for walk-ups today. We sold this event out months ago, for the most part. So please get in, see me if you want to get in. I'll work to get you in. If you want all 3 days, I'll work to get you in.
Okay, well, I hope you can hear me above the noise of the bikes, which you can just see over there in the background. We're right here on the infield. The bike's doing okay. I'm a little bit rusty, obviously, so I did make some changes. Added some preload on both the shock and the forks. Added some compression dampening on the front forks, but so far that's it. Tire pressures, I'm running around 34 psi and 38 rear, so I'm just seeing how that goes. Tire wear so far looks okay. We'll see how I feel as hopefully the speed increases. But yeah, she's doing all right as a little girl. So I'm in the second ability group, if you like, not the first, but in the second ability group. And so far I'm holding my own even on the little R7 against all the big bikes. Yes, I get passed on straights, but doing okay in the corners at the moment, so having a good time. Yeah, very enjoyable, and good track. Still learning the ropes, but yeah, it's all good fun. So I'll be back in touch. We're nearly at lunchtime. One more session before lunch, and we'll see how it goes. All right, I'll take a quick moment during a gap in running to tell you where we are. We've had the lunch break now, and just had one session after lunch. The session just before lunch was probably my favourite one. I had a nice space in the traffic, and there was somebody just up the road that was a similar pace to me, and I would gain and drop back on him really. So that was a fun one. I felt consistent, and the bike felt a little bit more stable and with me. It's not perfect, look, you know, as much as I have advocated for getting your suspension set up and everything, there are, you know, limits to the stock setup, especially on the track. So,
Attention in the paddock, last call for blue group. Last call for blue group.
So, yeah, it's just not quite giving me that confidence right in the mid corner. You want to just come off the throttle and you want to just rally it straight around the corner. It's just not as settled as I want it to be. I don't know if that's just this track being a little bit bumpy, or me being rusty or whatever, but just not quite soaking it up as much as my old race bike used to. So that's, you know, not as good. I feel much better on my left side, which for some reason I never used to be. But here on this bike today, then yes, I'm actually using the full edge of the tyre on the left side, but just not quite on the right hand side. And I don't really know why that is just yet. It might be the corners of this particular track, I don't know. But I'm having a great time, don't get me wrong, you know, as much as I might want to perfect everything, I'm just here trying to enjoy it as much as I can and have a good day out and go home safe and work on things for the future. Let's find out, you know, what else can I do to make it better. That's what I love about motorcycles and doing track days. It always highlights something else that you want to improve. So that's what today is doing. I think I might want to actually try next time to raise the yokes on the forks and actually push the forks down through, because I've got no issues with the steering. The steering is nice and quick, but I do just want to find a bit more stability, and that's one way I can do it, you know, with what I have in front of me. I could spend thousands on shocks and forks and etc. Rear linkages, just not quite there yet in terms of budget. So I'm working with what I've got and having a good time. Okay, so it's kind of middle of the afternoon now, nearly 4 o'clock. Well, I had a few incidents, a couple of delays basically. So just had a couple of sessions this afternoon so far. So I think I'm probably going to get one more in, and then that'll be me done for the day. Starting to feel the wear and tear on this old body of mine. I'm having a few struggles with the old action camera as well. Just keeping a charge basically. It's getting on now, so could probably do with a new one eventually. So I don't know what footage we're going to get from the Trackday, to be honest. If I've got it in here somewhere, then enjoy what little clips I've got for you. Otherwise, I'm sorry, because I know that's anticlimactic to have no track footage, but it is what it is. Again, I need to take some time to process all my thoughts about the bike. Not that it's bad or terrible or anything like that, it's just not quite that last 10% that I need to really throw that bike into a corner. So there's bits and bobs that I can do and work on to try and resolve that, of course. I have to be compromised a little bit because it is a street bike as well. Well, it's 95% a street bike. Take it to work, commute on it. So I can't just put on like, you know, I don't know. We'll think about it, is all I'm saying. I will give it credit. I've thrashed the hell out of it. The stock gearing is not great for this track, so there's at least 2, if not 3 areas where I'm sat bouncing off the limiter for a number of seconds. It's pointless to shift up and back again for those moments, so I really need to sort that out eventually. But the bike's taking it so far, so fingers crossed she'll carry on, and I'll give her a fresh oil change as soon as we're done here. Promise. We'll give you an oil change. The brakes have been excellent. I had a bit of a fear about the brakes coming in, just because they're a bit different to what I'm used to in terms of the power. Even my old SV race bike had not very powerful brakes. So I was wondering if I would, cartwheel myself forward off it. But I've had absolutely no issues with braking. Downshifting, yeah, just getting my body in the right place and doing all that business in corners and things, or approaching corners. But the brakes have been strong, 0 brake fade, 0 issues. It's not a very heavy braking track, to be fair, which does help. But yeah, braking wise, absolutely no issues. Gearing, like I say, had those issues. I'm just not got the right gearing for this track. Gear changes, absolutely fine. I've fluffed one change, I think, so I've bounced off the limiter there as well. But other than that, night and day different to some of the experience I had on the street with the stock rear sets. So go back and watch any of those videos if you want to find out about the rear sets. I am feeling tight in the handlebars, so those clip-ons that I've got at home will be going on. So yeah, I'll talk to you later. Alright, so let's run through this last session of the day. Here we are in the holding area. Motovid.com are the organisation that run these track days here at Black Hawk Farm, as well as Road America, and they did a very good job, and it was a great day all around. So every session we get at least the first lap is provided. Well, we're led around by a control rider. It's the last session of the day, so there's not many riders in the group on this last session, which is great for me. Again, being on a slightly underpowered bike, it's nice to be able to get your own space on track and just run your own lap times. Once the bigger bikes, start swarming around me, I tend to just back away and try and find my own space to do my own thing, really. But anyway, this is the last session, like I say, so there's loads of room on track, and you'll see that we pretty much have the track to ourselves for the majority, if not all, of this session. So we're just following around the control rider, and it's always useful to, you know, use their lines and get a good idea, especially, you know, this being the first time I'm at this track. It was very useful to pinpoint the areas where they were entering the corner as such. So here we go. He's going to wave us past on this start-finish straight, and then we get to ride our own pace. So yeah, so I don't want to talk too much, but I'll add in my little inputs here and there. So one of the things I've always struggled with track riding is the slower corners. I think, you know, I don't know if it's physics or whatever, but the high speed corners I actually like so much more than slow speed corners, which you can see through those left hand corners there. They're relatively fast paced and smooth tarmac right there, so I really enjoyed those parts. Not so much that slow corner into the infield. This section, just running it through there and then back on the brakes here, I really enjoyed as well. I got a nice tight corner there on the last corner before the straightaway. So that was a good corner, carrying some speed. Hard on the brakes into this turn one. Again, I always struggled with just throwing the bike in to this right-hander there. Just didn't quite have that last extra percent that I wanted. This left-hander, really nice. I enjoyed that. Hard onto the brakes again, trying to pick up this late apex. And it's, you know, it's going to take time for me to really dial into the lines around this track. It's a very specific one-line track. Especially that corner there, you really need to be on that inside. This track is very flat, so barely any cambers anywhere, and the only place there's any real cambers is on that modified sort of track surface where it's tarmacked, a little bit like this, but even so there it's not really cambered into the corner. Only in that right-hander under the trees, like slower right-hander before you enter the left-handers. That's the only real place where there's a bit of camber, which they've tried to add in, and they've really got to hook it into that corner. Again, it's the last session of the day, so as much as I've got the freedom of the space, it's always in your mind to just get, you know, complete the day without any incident, bring the bike home, no scratches and scrapes, and go home with a clean bike. It's always nice feeling. So as much as I'm trying to push on with the freedom I've got, with the space I've got, I am conscious that I don't want to mess it up in the last session. I just bring it home safe. So just bringing in that margin of safety, just to make sure of that, and just enjoying it really. You know, we can all try and win the track day, but at the end of the day, there's no points, there's no prizes. So the main idea is just to enjoy it and have some fun. I really did have a lot of fun. there's no bad track time. I always say that there's no bad track time. Whenever you're out on track, you are learning, pushing yourself, you are finding out the most about your bike than you could ever do on the street. And it's full of, exhilarating feelings. It also highlights any areas that you need to improve on, and it's just all round a good thing to do. If it's your first time thinking about track riding, just go and do it. There are plenty of people there that are going to help you out. No one's there to catch you out. No one's there to show you up or make you feel embarrassed. Everyone is there to encourage you. The riders around you, the officials on the day, the training providers. Everyone is there to help you have a good time and to increase your abilities. And that never stops, even in, I'm not going to say, but even in my category, which is technically the second fastest category out of 4, we're always learning. That the control riders, the trainers are still giving us information that is useful and helps us to improve. So yeah, really, really important if you are serious about learning about your bike, about improving your skills. Track days are one of the best ways you can do it. I think we're coming up on a yellow flag. Here we are, look, yellow flag incident on the first corner, so I'm taking it steady around here. There's a guy, I think he's run out of petrol or fuel. I don't know what he's quite doing there, but we get past him okay, and then we're free to go again. I really enjoyed that section there where we're switching from cornering right to trying to power through the left hand side. Really good fun to get that power on and get the bike flicking over, changing direction. So this section, I really needed to have a bit more track time on. Probably in the future I'll be back here and there's definitely a line to try and push out to the left near the silo and then bring it into the fast right-hander. Again, I really like this section. Here I am now pulling into the pits, end of the day, hugging this right-hander to enter the pits. Yeah, just a really great day, a lot of fun, a lot of experience gained, especially with this bike. Again, my first time on the track with this bike. Plenty of things to improve on and to change up, and I'm really excited to see what I can do. Being a small capacity bike, you're not gonna suddenly jump up miles per hour on the straights, so it's really important to maximize our corner speed and gain confidence in the corners, and I'm sure we'll get there. So thanks for watching. It's been good.